stay here in this body, we're going to praise the Lord. You know, so that's how I encourage.
Say that a little louder. Say it again. The people in the back.
Well, the people in the back, you have to speak to that illness. Speak to that illness.
Hello and welcome to another edition of Overcoming Illness. I am founder and CEO of Enrich Your Health. I'm a holistic health coach. I've been doing my business since about 2010. So welcome everybody. If you are it's nighttime, morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever it is for you. I myself suffered from multiple food allergies and food sensitivity. So I've helped a lot in the autoimmune community with Lyme disease, issues like that. So I decided to do this show because people need to hear people's stories. So if you haven't seen any of my past shows, please go back and watch them on Elevation TV Network. I've had shows on cancer, autoimmune. We just had a show on a woman who had overcome 5 different autoimmune issues. In full disclosure, this is not medical advice, not meant to treat, heal, or cure any illness. Please check with your doctor. So I do one-on-one coaching, group coaching, and speaking engagements, and now my own TV show. So tonight I really wanted to talk about breast cancer because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. I'm doing a walk for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. It's 31 miles in the month of October. And one of the greatest things about that is you do not have to do it all at once. So I do a couple miles here, a couple miles there. So if you are interested in joining me, let me know. Send me a Facebook message, send me a Instagram message, or you can text me at 508-330-9665 if you are listening. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about breast cancer and some of the ways you can prevent it and some tips for you tonight. The other thing I do want to mention before I get into that, I forgot to mention that I do have digital ebooks and recipe books on the website, some free gifts on there. So feel free to check it out. You can get a reversing illness ebook. And again, it's not medical advice. Okay. So you take that with a grain of salt and you always seek your doctor's advice. And then I have a 6-day immunity meal plan guide. So you can get that at enrichyourhealth.com. That's with a U-R, ENRICHYOURHEALTH.com. And you can get those there. And then I have some digital ebooks that are great for people with food allergies or sensitivities or autoimmune issues. They're gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. I've got some great ones coming up for the holidays. Allergy-friendly, just really helpful for people that they have to eat gluten-free or dairy-free or nut-free. So stay tuned for that. I'm hoping to get a couple of videos in with some of the recipes. So please stay tuned for that and follow me on my other social media platforms. Make sure you go over and like and subscribe to Elevation TV Network. Give them some love. Even if you're not on the YouTube channel, go over to the YouTube channel and subscribe and give them some love so you can get notified of other shows on here because they have some amazing people that come on, amazing guests. So I am looking for sponsorships. I'm looking for guests for the show. So if that's something you're interested in, please reach out to me. Or if you're struggling in your own health, please reach out to me as well. I could do customized recipes as well as digital ebooks and recipe books. So with that, I do want to talk a little bit about breast cancer. Let's see, I have some notes, so bear with me. Let's see. Another thing I do want to mention tonight a little bit is if you do struggle with food allergies, I am going to be doing some talks on that. So please stay tuned for that. I do talk about that every year and how important it is. Let's see. Let's pull up my notes here. Okay, here we go. So I did do talks for breast cancer back in Massachusetts. The Breast Friends Connection, great group of people. They would have an hour for support, and then they would have like a guest speaker. I am in North Carolina now. So one of the things I do want to mention is a lot of the products that we use can affect breast cancer or contribute to it because it affects our hormones. So what you want to do is be careful of different things, like plastics can affect the hormones, and especially if they're cooked in the microwave, that can affect the hormones. And do your own research. You don't have to take everything I say with a grain of salt. Do it this, that's better. So yeah, if you do anything in the microwave, it's going to give off a chemical that can affect the hormones in the body. Different detergents can affect the hormones in the body. So what does that mean? If your hormones are off, or maybe you're producing more estrogen, you're more susceptible to breast cancer. Okay. And again, nobody knows for sure what causes it, but there are some studies that these types of things are contributing to it. And of course, what happened to all my notes? You gotta love this. They were all here a minute ago. Bear with me. I am so sorry, you guys. So yeah, so I've stopped using a microwave. I do not use a microwave any longer. When you put food in the microwave, you're killing all the nutrients in the food. The nutrition in it is so that you can, oh, I'm sorry. That's what I get for reading my notes. So yeah, you're losing all the nutrition in your food when you cook it in the microwave. You're getting, it kills it, okay? So again, do your own research. Another thing that can contribute to breast cancer is, let's see, radiation when you get a mammogram. That can also contribute to breast cancer. I'm not saying it does. I'm not saying it causes it, but it can contribute. Oops. Underwire bras can also contribute to breast cancer. The makeup you wear on your skin absorbs everything. So it gets into your skin, in your bloodstream. That can contribute to breast cancer as well. Let's see. Sometimes it's hereditary. You might carry a certain gene. You know, a lot of times you'll see sisters have the same gene, or mom and daughter might have the same gene, so you never know. Lotions, hair products, any of the products that you use, any like, talked about detergents, but like if you're using different types of cleaning products, things like that, you want to be careful because those things can contribute to breast cancer. They affect your hormones. And again, do your own research. You don't have to take my word for it. But there are some studies on it. Another thing is caffeine. Sometimes people develop lumps and things like that from the caffeine. And sometimes it doesn't mean you have cancer, it just forms a lump, but it can also contribute as well. Too much coffee or energy drinks, those types of things. So something to think about there. Okay, let me just forward this a little bit. So what can prevent breast cancer? What can help while you're going through it? Well, one thing is less sugar. So eat less processed foods. Your donuts and cookies and cakes and devil dogs. And, you know, we got Halloween coming up. So all those Kit Kats and Reese's Pieces and Snickers and all that, that's going to, if you have breast cancer or you might be susceptible to it in your family, you might want to think twice about eating a lot of Halloween candy because it can contribute. And the reason it does that is it's acidic. So the acidity in the body is going to contribute. Let me fast forward here a little bit. So the body gets ill when it's acidic, and it does not get ill when it's in more of an alkaline environment. So think of plants. Plants get oxygen every day. And so when you eat like a plant-based diet, you're putting oxygen in your body. That's alkalizing you. And I do see one person watching, so I say thank you for coming on and welcome. Feel free to make any comments or questions. And you just have to bear with me because I'm reading some notes. So it's just taking me a minute. But yeah, if you get more plant-based foods in your diet, you're going to be more alkaline, less susceptible to things like breast cancer or any other cancer for that matter. So you want to eat more greens, Greens, like salads, romaine lettuce, spinach, kale, collard greens, Swiss chard, anything like that. That's going to really help you prevent illness. Okay, let me move this up a little. So another thing you can do is get some soups in, some nice detox soups. You can put kale or spinach or spinach, some vegetables like zucchini, what else? Onion, garlic. Put the onion and garlic in last. They're antibacterial, even better for you. What else? You could put like turmeric in there, vegetable broth, chicken broth, you know, whatever you've got. And I suggest too, with with the holidays coming up and everything else as well, make detox soup and freeze some of it. That way, if you do start to get a cold or anything, regardless of breast cancer, that's just a good thing to have on hand. So, and if you can make soup from scratch, all the better, like a chicken broth from scratch, or even bone broth from scratch. Those are like really good because you get the minerals from the bones when you actually use the real bones. So just something to think about. Garlic, they used to use in war times. They stuck it in their wounds so that it would heal their wounds. So garlic is very healing. It's antiviral, antibiotic, helps prevent illness. And onion as well. Onions absorb bacteria. That's why they say don't put an onion in the refrigerator because it's going to absorb everything in there. Well, a cut onion, I should say. It'll absorb everything in there. So let me fast forward a little more. It helps to get fiber. The more, the more fiber that you're getting, you're digesting it. So I've talked about this on other shows. You need to eliminate what you eat. If you're not eliminating what you eat, that too can contribute to cancer, because those toxins start to add up in your body, and that can contribute to cancer as well. And the other thing is too, you can, estrogen, you can start to produce more estrogen in the body. And that can contribute to breast cancer. Soy type products, flax, this is a little bit controversial. They can be good for you, but they can be a little bit estrogen dominant. So some people choose to just stay away because it may contribute to breast cancer. But like I said, that one is a little bit controversial. I say soy. Most soy is genetically modified. If you're eating the right kind of soy, it can actually be good for you. But most of it is genetically modified, so it's not that good for us. So take that with a grain of salt. You just want to be aware of the estrogen producing in your body, because when you have too much estrogen, it can contribute to breast cancer. So you might just want to limit those types of things. Some other kinds of fiber you can get is beans. Make soup with beans in it. It's getting cold out. I used to hate beans. You stay away from soy, inflammatory. Well, Vanessa, thank you for being on, and thank you for telling us that. Yeah, I don't eat a lot of soy either, because like I said, for the most part, it's not made pure. It's genetically modified. And now, for those of you who don't know, there's a word they use out there now, bioengineered. That too means genetically modified. So I answer phones for grocery stores, and now what do I keep getting? What does this mean? What does this mean? And I'm like, it means it's genetically modified. It means it's chemically altered. It's been altered and modified in a plant. So just something to keep aware of. Watch your language on your packages. And I'm also seeing now they might abbreviate it as B as in boy, E as in echo for bioengineered. I just read an article on that. So they're just trying to make it a little bit harder for us as the consumer. Vanessa says 5 layers of chemicals. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Not good. And that's for bioengineered. I think that's what she means. Yeah, not good. Not good for us. So what else? So yeah, like I said, you can eat beans. I never used to eat them, but now I love them. There's so many different kinds of beans. You can do white navy beans, chickpeas. You can do black-eyed peas, red kidney beans, a million different kinds of beans. So make some soup and throw some beans in there, some butter beans, whatever. You can get a lot of fiber that way. One thing you just want to be aware of, I'm not saying fruit is bad. Please don't think that I'm saying that, but fruit is sugar. So I did say earlier that sugar contributes to illness. So if you have cancer, you do want to limit your fruit. I'm not saying it's bad. You're still getting good nutrients out of fruit. Vitamin C boosts the immune system, but you may want to just limit it. You need to stay more on the vegetable side. And that was what you were saying, Vanessa. Thank you. So wow, bioengineered means 5 layers of chemicals. I didn't even know that. So thank you for that. Wow. And once again, if you do eat an apple, you're getting fiber. So, you definitely want to have an apple or a banana or something, some fruit here and there, but I would just say don't go crazy with the fruit. You want to do more low glycemic berries like strawberries, blueberries, blackberries. All the berries are low glycemic. So that means that they don't produce as much sugar. So that's another fruit that you would rather have, especially if you have cancer. And I do find I don't crave as many sweets if I eat fruit. So everybody's different. Some people eat fruit and they crave more sugar. It contributes to their sugar cravings. For me, it doesn't. I'm pretty fortunate that way. And then that way I'm not craving like, oh my God, I need a cookie. I need a brownie. Because I'm not getting the sugar my body really needs. So that's what happens. When you're not getting the right sugars, for some people, you're going to crave the bad sugars. I learned this growing up because I always craved sugar. I liked my frosted flakes. I liked my chocolate chip cookies. I don't need any of that anymore. Another thing you could do, like for a nice meal that's, a little bit more winterized but healthy. I like to do like sometimes like baby spinach with like grilled chicken with roasted portobello mushrooms, some roasted vegetables like maybe broccoli, maybe zucchini. And then I usually put like some mandarin oranges on it. So that's like a really good, you can do that in the summer or the winter if it's, you got warm chicken, so it's slightly warm. It's not like a freezing cold salad with like maybe a honey mustard vinaigrette, something like that. Let's see. I already talked about that. Okay, let me just go forward a little bit. Yeah, so we talked about vitamin C, and then vitamin D also helps the immune system. So you want to get some vitamin D in there as well. So like I said earlier, processed foods, fatty foods like red meat are not good for breast cancer. So you want to stay away from those types of things. Alcohol, that can contribute to breast cancer. Talked about sugar. Avocados are great. You could get, make, you can do a lot with avocados. You can actually make soup with avocados. Like when I took a raw food class, they had soups made with avocados. It's what made it creamy. Like we'd make cream of broccoli soup with avocados. So just something to think about. Let's see. So you can get your vitamin D by getting some sunlight, get walking in. Like I said, I am doing a walk for breast cancer this October. And let's see. I'm getting my vitamin D by getting my sunlight, by getting my walk in. So I'm killing a lot of things in one swoop. So getting my sunshine, which boosts the mood, boosts the immune system, helps prevent breast cancer. And I am fighting for breast cancer by walking. All right, let me move forward a little bit. Yeah, I went walking yesterday. It was absolutely beautiful out. It's like 60 here in North Carolina. When I walk, I pray. And I just listen to God. So, one thing you might want to do if you've never done it, walk and pray. And, maybe you'll get some answers for some things in your life you didn't even know you could get. And you'll get closer to God. So get out, get your exercise, get vitamin D. The world needs a lot of prayer. So when you are praying, don't just pray for yourself. Pray for your family, pray for your friends, pray for your neighbors, pray for world peace, whatever God is leading you to pray for, but you don't always have to pray for yourself. And if it does start to get too cold out, you can always walk like in a hospital or a mall, those types of places. You want to make sure you're getting a lot of water. Make sure you drink half your body weight in ounces in water. That flushes everything out. Gives you more energy. And that's if you are getting more fiber, you want to get more water because you want to make sure you're digesting that fiber. And then the National Cancer Institute reports that women who exercise for 4 hours per week or longer have a lower risk of breast cancer. So you want to keep your weight down. Another thing they suggest is green tea. It's got some antioxidants in it. That's good for breast cancer. Oops, let me forward this. Your omega-3s, that's good for breast cancer. So things like salmon, different kinds of fish. Those are also anti-inflammatory, which Dr. Barry Sears swears by anti-inflammatory really, really helps with breast cancer. So basically you want to get your fruits and vegetables, more greens, greens. Again, just, to reiterate, I'm not telling you not to eat fruit, but I would just try to stay more on the lines of vegetables and a little bit of fruit here and there. You can do smoothies. You could, and put some greens in your smoothies with maybe just a little bit of fruit. Like, don't go crazy. Just maybe like a pear with some kale, some water. And believe it or not, you've got a smoothie right there. You don't need to add anything else. You only need 3 to 5 ingredients. You do apple and spinach, maybe a little ginger and water. I don't do milks or anything usually, but you could do almond milk if you wanted to. Or like a rice milk. There's all kinds of different milks out there besides the regular milk. I don't suggest the regular milk. We talked about putting greens in your soups. Another thing is like fresh herbs. Fresh basil has a lot of anti-cancerous properties. So you can do a lot with basil, make pesto. I make a pesto without putting any cheese in it. I make it with like a little bit of basil, garlic, olive oil, I think a little bit of lemon, some salt. I don't know if I said garlic, maybe a little bit of garlic. And then, of course, the whatever nut, pine nuts, you can use anything, almonds, walnuts. And I just don't put cheese, and it's still really good. It's really good. Basil is awesome. So you could do that. And then if you didn't want to eat pasta, you could put that over zucchini noodles. I've made a zucchini noodle lasagna before. So you can, if you don't have like a way to make the noodles, one thing you can do is a vegetable peeler. So just peel them and they're flat, and then you could just throw the pesto on top of it. Makes a nice little lunch, And the other thing you can do is if you didn't want it cold, but you want to make sure you're getting all the nutrients, just slightly warm it in the oven so you're not actually cooking it. So like I said earlier, you just want to keep in mind a lot of things affect our hormones. And when our hormones are out of whack, that's what can contribute to breast cancer. The estrogen can produce more, you can produce more estrogen, which contributes to the cancer. Let me put it that way. Oh, another one we didn't talk about is oregano. Oregano is also like almost like an antibiotic. So if you have some oregano oil in your house, or if you make some oregano oil, that's really helpful. That helps any illness, not just cancer. Some other herbs: rosemary, parsley, thyme. Turmeric helps shrink tumors. Again, not medical advice, not foolproof, but there are some studies on it, so do your own research. Turmeric is anti-inflammatory. I will tell you, when I got in my car accident, this doesn't have anything to do with breast cancer, but just in general, I took some turmeric capsules, and let me tell you, the inflammation went down in my arm, and thankfully, the pain went down too, because I was taking turmeric capsules. So just something to keep in mind. It does reduce inflammation and can reduce tumors. Reduces fibroids as well. But you do want to take turmeric with a little bit of black pepper. For some reason, it absorbs it better. So even if you put it in your soups, it will absorb it better. Okay, let's see what else we have here. Talked about turmeric. And if you can get whole turmeric, you get that in like an Indian store or a specialty store. I do believe Whole Foods would have it. So if you can get the real turmeric, it actually looks like ginger, but a little bit different. So you can grate some of that into your soups. So the real turmeric is all the better than just like the spice, because it's got more nutrients. And you want to stay away from the acidic foods. The acidic foods are things like chocolate, dairy, meat, processed foods, sugar, alcohol. All those are acidic foods. Nuts are acidic. So you want to just kind of limit those, because that's going to contribute to illness. And I know sometimes when people are going through radiation, acidic foods can really irritate them, because it's going to bother the tongue and everything from the acidity. And if you are going to take any supplements, I've talked about this on other shows, please check with your doctor, because you never know what, what's the word I want? Like if your red blood cells at a certain count, your white blood cells at a certain count, those supplements may be good for one person, but not another. You might hear, oh, this is good for you, da, da, da. But especially if you have an illness like cancer already, you want to be very careful what supplements you're putting in your body. I do recommend good, wholesome supplements, absolutely. But, and especially if you're already on some kind of medications or anything, check with your doctor. You never know. Even though they're good, wholesome supplements, they may not be right for you. It might do something to your body you didn't think would happen. So just keep that in mind. Even oregano. I mean, I knew somebody that took oregano that had Lyme disease, and she took too much, and it caused a Herxheimer reaction because the spirochetes in the body was starting to die off, which is a good thing. It was killing some of it, but it was, it was making her body just have this like massive reaction, and it was just not good. She was in a lot of pain and having, a lot of issues. So be careful when you do stuff like that, especially if you're already ill. Be very careful. So I think that's about it that I have for notes. Once again, I am looking for guests for the show, looking for sponsors. Be a sponsor on the show and sponsor your products, advertise your business if you need more business. I also offer business funding. So if you have a business out there that needs funding, and we have some other resources. We offer different alternative to health insurance that you might be interested in, especially if you are a self-employed person. So we have some other options there. But once again, if you're going through an illness, you need some help, need some recipes. I know you can get tons off the internet. Don't get me wrong. I know this, but I like to customize them for people to make them simple. You don't need everything but the kitchen sink. I'll give you other options, even like say a recipe called for avocado oil. Well, nothing's etched in stone. You could use extra virgin olive oil. I will tell you this. You know what I mean? Like, I've gotten recipes and books, and I'm like, oh my God, where am I going to get that? Like, there's other options. You don't necessarily have to use exactly what's in a recipe. You can just ask me, or I will tell you another option. I like to make it simple. I'm not going to give people recipes with ingredients that, are hard to get or very expensive to get. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, you can go to the website, enrichyourhealth.com, ENRICHURHALTH. You can get my digital ebooks and recipe books on there. Please make sure you check that out. Also, the person that was on my last show, please make sure you're following her, Food Goddess 50. Her and I are kind of partnering up and helping each other. So definitely make sure you're following Food Goddess 50 on all the platforms, whatever, Instagram, Facebook, different things like that. Because her and I are going to be helping each other with a lot of different things. So let's see. So if you want to be a guest on the show, we need you. We need your stories. Just send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, or you can text me and then I'll get back to you. And that's 508-330-9665. Trying to think that's about it. So if you are watching the replay, I thank you. You can, if you don't feel comfortable commenting here, send me a message. If you have some kind of comment, suggestion, question, feel free to reach out. Or you can put a comment here and I'll get back to it. But I'm more apt to see it if you message me. So it's up to you. So I want to thank everybody. I'm sorry I'm not on for a full hour tonight. But I wanted to talk about breast cancer because October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. And last but not least, the walk I'm doing for the National Breast Cancer Foundation. If you want to donate, let me know. I will send you the link. And you don't or if you just want to join me, maybe you don't want to donate, but you kind of just want to cheer each other on or whatever. Let me know and we'll just track each other's miles and cheer each other on. We can do that. So I've already done, I don't even know. I've got 20 something miles more to go, but it's still early in the month. I've still got a little ways to go. I did 2.24 or something like that yesterday. So, and I think I need a pedometer because I don't think my phone is right. I got to tell you that because it's not like right on my hip. So I think it's trying to tell me I'm doing less than I am. I don't know. But anyway, we'll figure it out. So with that, I'm going to end the broadcast and I will see you guys next Sunday. Thank you guys for watching. Have a good night.